With Virgin Media, you can build up the entertainment and tear down the price. Switch to Virgin Media today and get superfast broadband and TV for just €49 a month for an awesome 12 months. The sale that stacks up. Now on. See virginmedia.ie and check out how our mobile sales stacks up too.
T's and C's apply. See virginmedia.ie. 12-month contract. Offer ends 27th of February 2019.
Hey everybody, this is Frank. This is Thank God I'm Atheist. This is not a normal show. We've had some technical difficulties this week. We thought that we had a show recorded for you. Turns out our audio recorder is kaput, is my best guess at this point. Every indication would have said that we were recording. However, when I went to go put the show together, the card was didn't have anything that we had recorded this week on it. So we have on our hands a lost show. It's a little sad. I fear that maybe it was our best show ever. Who knows? But what I have for you instead is something a little different. This is actually a piece of archival audio, and this is a recording of Dan and me before Thank God I'm Atheist. This is, we got ourselves a little one-time deal, 1 hour, at a community radio station here in Salt Lake City. It was an online deal, and we recorded this this thing that we called Rapture Watch, which, if you'll recall, back in 2011, this fella by the name of Harold Camping had predicted that the world was going to, rapture's not really the end of the world, but that the rapture itself, this whisking away of all the righteous up into heaven, was going to happen on this one particular day at this particular time. And so we got an hour basically at that time to watch to see what happened. So the audio is a little bit on the rough side. I did my best to kind of try to clean it up a little bit, but that's not really the point of this. It's just kind of a fun thing to listen to. It was fun for me to go back and hear sort of early Frank and Dan before we'd kind of figured out, or as much as we have figured out how to record a show. There's some technical difficulties, and it was more of a radio format, so there are breaks for songs. We were playing music throughout it. I had chosen like some gospel songs and a couple other songs that I thought just seemed appropriate for something called Rapture Watch, and so I've cut those out of this. And I've kind of trimmed. There was a point where it was apparently pledge week, and we had to do a pledge off the cuff. So I kind of whittled away the parts of that were completely irrelevant. Other than that, it's pretty much untouched. It's not the entire hour. I guess the theme of today's show, of Thank God I'm Atheist today, is technical errors. Well, Rapture Watch was just filled with technical problems. So you'll hear them. And one of the technical errors is of course that we don't even have the whole thing. The whatever recorder that they had set up failed to get the entire show, but there's enough of it here that you'll get a good taste of what it was. And so, sit back and, I guess enjoy it. Now it's time for Rapture Watch with Frank and Dan, and it's going to be a good time, so stick around. This is our first little song for you before we really get going, and stick around. All right. Thank you for tuning in today. This is going to be Rapture Watch with Dan and Frank. And we're here at Utah FM. We're taking an hour from Ethan. Thank you, Ethan, for letting us do this. It was really nice of you. That first song was I'll Fly Away by Hezekiah Walker.
I think it's Hezekiah.
What?
I think it's Hezekiah Walker.
Oh.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Okay, I totally put that up on the UtahFM.org. I put the wrong stuff up. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to do that.
I'll take responsibility. I was looking it up badly.
That was Dan. Let's just blame that on Dan. Well, anyways, Rapture Watch.
We're not really watching the Rapture.
No, that's true. We're not watching.
We're kind of like in a bunker.
That's true.
So I don't know how we could watch anything, frankly. Unless one of us gets raptured.
That would be awesome.
Okay, so if one of us gets raptured, we'll be sure to let you guys know what it's looking like and what's happening. If both of us get raptured, I guess you're on your own. Really.
Yeah. Well, I think the chaos in the world at that moment, like people are really, they're going to know something's up.
Well, okay.
If we disappear and then the world starts ending, like...
Yeah, but I guess there's supposed to be like earthquakes and stuff, huh?
Yeah, there's supposed to be a big earthquake. There's supposed to be an earthquake at 6 p.m.
A progressive
earthquake that's going to rotate around the planet.
Right.
As each time zone switches to 6 p.m. So some of those half-hour time zones, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows
who knows what's happening in Arizona.
Right.
So,
Dear Jesus, is this happening? Are we on mountain time or is this daylight?
Well,
who knows? So what that means is that now, it being a little after 4 Mountain Standard Time,
yes,
the Rapture has hit the eastern seaboard of the United States of America.
It should be hitting the East Coast.
That's good. I guess.
No. I got friends on the East Coast. No way, man.
Okay. I hope everything's fine over there. That's true. My mom's there.
Yeah. Hello.
Mom's getting beat up by an earthquake.
We want more to be okay.
And by now, like everything from Australia through Europe is toast.
It's pretty much gone.
Wow.
It's gone, people.
I'm sorry.
Give up.
Hey, we should tell people about how they can join our conversation.
Hey, that's a good idea.
I like the phrase join our conversation. It sounds so radio.
Yeah, it does.
You can join the conversation.
But since this is not radio, we're going to do this in a really un-radio way.
Oh, true.
Because there is a phone here, but we don't have a producer, of course, and there's no way to screen your calls as they would come in and all that kind of stuff. And so what we're going to do is we have a telephone number that you can message into us. You can send text messages to 801-899-9463. That's 801-8999-GOD.
Oh, that's so clever.
Isn't that clever? Yeah, I got onto Google Voice this morning and set that up. And so, anyways, in your messages, if you do want to send us a message, we'll be receiving those here in the studio. And please just include your name and city. That'll seem a little weird in a text message, but...
Yeah, so, for instance, if you wanted to format it, you could say... you don't have to be explicit. You can just say Mike, Sandy, Utah, or just Sandy. Because
Sandy in Sandy, Utah.
If there's a Sandy out there listening in Sandy, we'd love to hear from you about your thoughts.
Please join us, Sandy.
On impending doom.
Well, Dan, I think we've milked that one. Let's see.
Don't try and stifle my creativity, Frank.
Okay, I'm sorry. I tend to do that. All right, we've got some good stuff coming up for you this hour. We want to take kind of a different approach to the apocalypse. I like it. We're on the internet, so
happening online now. It's the apocalypse. Or if you're listening on an Apple, it's an iPocalypse.
So we want to take kind of a different approach to the apocalypse. We don't want to do, we're going to talk about Harold camping, believe you me, but we don't want to spend the whole time just making fun of an 80-year-old man who has more 90. Millions.
The guy's old.
Yeah. We don't want to make fun of him.
Well, what's to make fun of?
We will. Well, we're going to state some facts, and if you find them funny, then
feel free to laugh.
Exactly.
Don't shy away from that. But do recall that he is an old crazy person.
He's an old crazy person.
So just to kind of get this conversation rolling, there's this, there's nothing really that new about end of the world prophecies.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just, and
they go back as far back as people go.
Yeah, and I would say that when we hear that, though, we tend to think that, these are always religious prophecies and what have you. But if anybody will just recall 11 years ago, actually 12 years ago with the whole Y2K thing, we have this Mayan calendar thing, which is...
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
It's pseudo-religious. I mean, it's not really... It's the appropriation of a culture.
I'm sure some people feel it's religious.
Some people might think it's religious. But anyway, so, there's that. We're in Utah, so, there's the whole Joseph Smith thing. I mean, he made predictions about the end of the world, people, but... whatever. And of course now there's Harold camping. So this isn't, this is nothing new, and it's nothing that's exclusive to religion. And so I think that that's a really important thing. I don't know why people are paying so much attention to Harold camping.
Well, he's got a radio show.
Well, I guess there's that. He's got a platform. Okay. All right. Thanks, Dan.
If David Koresh had a radio show, who knows? Maybe all of Waco could have been in that compound.
Yeah. All right. I was just looking at the first couple little messages that came through here.
Ooh, fun.
And I think I know who they're from.
All right, you smartasses.
Yeah, there's some smartasses out there.
What'd they say?
2468, you suck. So
Sweet.
I think this is probably coming. The problem with the system here, folks, is
dude,
that
you guys know I can out heckle you any day of the week. Do you really want to pick this fight?
Yeah, I know these numbers, but I can't attach names to them because that's the world we live in these days.
Oh, wow.
I recognize them, but
we know who you are.
We know who you are.
If we cared, we could figure it out.
Yeah, sure. So anyways, so if anybody has anything useful to contribute, please feel free. It's 801-899-9463. That's for text messages only. If you call it, you're just going to get sent straight to voicemail. So
also, if there's a topic that you think, if there's a point that we've missed, please feel free to call us on our bullshit.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. So anyways, well, one of the things that I've kind of been wondering, Dan, and I wonder if we could just talk about it, is this whole, and I think this ties into what we were talking about, which is the media coverage of Harold camping.
Well, I mean, come on. It's so beautiful. It's so juicy to cover this guy.
Yeah?
Right? Because he got traction. I think, when a billboard goes up, when people are paying good money to wrap their cars with a decal, like warning all of us about our impending doom, that's a great story.
No, I know, but I wonder if there's something inherently more. I mean, okay, we all know there's something wrong with the U.S. media, but
wait, what?
What? This is news.
On what planet? It's awesome.
But no, there is something seriously wrong when they can spend so much time on whatever the impending apocalypse of the day is.
Yeah, but it's such good news. It's salacious.
Is it good news?
No, it's terrible news. It's not news at all. There is no news here.
It's good TV.
It's good TV. And it's good radio. I hope it's good radio, because I just noticed that we are now media doing a story about this.
Well, yeah, it's a little meta, but whatever. Whatever. I'm not gonna split. Oh, come on.
Okay, fine.
We can it's the internet.
Right. Well, and not only that,
and it's not mainstream.
We're not covering this as a news story.
Exactly.
We're allowing it to be the jumping off point for a conversation.
This is true. This is true.
But you know what? That's what's been happening for a lot of news outlets. I've been seeing a lot of let's let this lead us into a conversation about, is this healthy? What does this mean for our society when this many people are willing to buy into something like this?
Yeah. Well, I heard I agree. I heard a great thing on Point with Tom Ashbrook on NPR. this week about this whole thing, and they were talking about the apocalypse from a secular perspective, and I thought it was really interesting,
right?
And that's partly why we, decided that we wanted to do this, was that we found it so interesting,
right?
So, anyways, all right, the number to text us at is 801-899-9463. We're kind of really going to push that because we would love to hear from you.
And because that way, if you guys are part of it, we don't feel quite as masturbatory just sitting here talking to you.
This is true. Anyways, to try to keep this not quite so masturbatory, we're going to go ahead and play another song. And this is... Which one is this? This is track number 2. However, it's going to be Dead Wrong by Hani El Khatib. All right, that's a fun one.
Dead Wrong. So,
Dead Wrong.
When you picked that song, who were you suggesting is dead wrong?
I don't know. I think...
Am I dead wrong, Frank?
If you want to be. I don't even know.
I have no idea where you just went with that.
I don't know.
That's okay.
I was... to be honest, I was in the middle of the whole Harold camping thing, and I was just like looking for songs and... Should we
kind of give a brief primer as to what Harold Camping, how he came up with this thing? Or do we even care?
I don't think it's a bad idea to do a little primer. Okay. I have some information right here that I pulled off the internet.
Now Frank will tell us why the end of the world is coming today.
Okay. So this has to do with the Bible.
Right.
A big surprise there. Okay, so this is all part of Harold Camping's math. For him, he is very interested in sort of the numerology of the Bible, and so he's and this is for real.
Does he ever use the term numerology?
Numerology?
Yeah, you said he's interested in that, but I don't. I'm just wondering if he uses that term.
That's what it is.
True.
He's applying meaning to numbers and whatnot, and pulling that out of the Bible.
Did you know that he's an engineer? He's not a theologian at all.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Well, that's why he's obsessed with the numbers.
Well, it makes sense.
Maybe.
Yeah, he might also be crazy.
Well, he's a crazy engineer. Okay, go.
I'm sure he's not the first. All right. All right. So apparently the number 5 means atonement.
Oh, good.
10 equals completeness, and 17 means heaven. Now, what he did is he took those 3 numbers and he multiplied them by each other, and then he multiplied the result of that by itself. So he squared it.
Right.
And then that came up with the number 722,500. Right. Okay, so that's, all right, cool. I don't know how you figured out that you needed to multiply and not divide or something.
Because Jesus only multiplies and Satan divides.
Oh, that's pretty deep, Dan. I like that.
Except that Jesus didn't really multiply.
No, that was Adam and Eve. But
they did.
They multiplied.
And replenished.
Go on. Anyway, so Christ, so apparently this is a quote from him. He says, Christ hung on the cross April 1st, 33 AD. Now go to April 1st of 2011 AD, and that's, get this, 1,978 years. And if you multiply that number by, so what we're doing here is we're trying to get the number of days that took place in that number of years. So we're multiplying that number by the solar calendar, which is actually 265.2422.
365.
Oh, I'm sorry, 365.2422.
Right.
And that, surprisingly enough, equals 722,449. Okay. So just 51 less than that other magical number that he came up with. And if you take April 1st and add 51 days to that, you get May 21st. So that's how you came up with it.
Holy crap, that's today.
That is
You guys, look out. Wait, that's today of this year.
Yeah. And so, wow,
well, I mean, you can't impeach the logic of it. It's clearly ironclad.
Sure. Sure. It's completely understandable.
Right.
And there's a lot more that goes into it. He also believes that May 21st marks the 7,000th anniversary of Noah's flood.
Right.
And a 33-year, and the end of a 33-year period of tribulation, which the Bible also talks about, whatnot. But it's just so,
frankly, it's so dumb.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so fascinating.
Critiquing it is like, I don't even know.
Right.
I don't know how you start to, like, critique it.
I just like the idea that God works in math.
Well, what else does he work in? How do you want God to work, Dan?
Well, I'm not trying to tell God how to do his business, but
it kind of sounds like you're trying to tell him what he doesn't do.
Although, in fairness, he did have his son born right on the AD-BC changeover. So that's like a round number. Like he did it right at 0.
That was really clever.
So clearly, I mean, he likes round numbers. Obviously,
yeah.
He has things happen for 40 days and 40 nights. It's never like 36 days and 37 nights or whatever.
Yeah, he likes to keep his night and day ratio together in a more logical way.
And use multiples of 10 when he's doing it.
He does, yeah. That's true.
Yeah. We both said at the same time. We both have a place we want to go. That's how I interpret that moment.
Yeah. Well, you go, Dan. Let's see where you take us.
Well, what I was going to talk about is the notion that we as human beings, and I've seen several studies on this, most recently one done by Oxford University, which was a very large meta-study that basically discovered that human beings are hardwired for belief in some sort of superstition, whether it be a higher power like a god sort of figure, or another study included imaginary friends in this. So the whole phenomenon of people having imaginary friends is sort of lumped
that
in.
Links into this?
Yeah, well, according to a study that was published in, I believe, New Science. Where was that study? I'm looking on the intertubes right now.
That's also mildly meta.
Yeah, I know. New Scientist magazine.
Oh, okay.
Had a whole thing, and yeah, they sort of talked about imaginary friends, gods, various, spirits and sprites and fairies and all of those sorts of things are apparently hardwired into us. I don't know, what is it about humans that wants to believe?
Well, my question is there some sort of evolutionary advantage to it? Because that's the only reason why we would be hardwired for it, is if our ancestors who believed had some sort of advantage over those who did not believe.
Oh, we're such science devotees, honestly. But no, there is a scientific, like an evolutionary advantage to belief. I read
that makes me really sad.
Well, maybe there's a new evolutionary advantage to not believing. Maybe we can evolve.
Maybe. I like that.
Evolution's all about evolving.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I read a thing on a InnerTube's site called CSIOp.org, which is a whole. I don't read
like the TV show.
Yes, it is. No, it's about it's about skeptical inquiry.
Oh, okay.
I like skepticism.
Sure. Okay.
Kind of have a little fetish for it.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it's not like Well, I guess I find fetish or skepticism kind of sexy, a little kinky. But yeah, there's a whole thing about like survival being linked to a belief, because the fact of the matter is that if we can only believe what we can perceive with our senses, 5 senses, then we can't get to reasoning beyond what we can perceive. So we can't figure out the cause of anything unless we start to establish beliefs about it. So
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So, and it's a lot more in depth than what I'm doing. But the problem is the beliefs once they get locked in. And beliefs are usually, often work out for the best. You know what I mean? So like, I believe that, and this is one example that's used in the article. I believe that what's causing rain is that a cold front is pushing, a bunch of clouds in my direction, and so that's a belief system. And so when I see evidence of the cold front on the InnerTube's, weather thing, then I say, I can believe that the rain's coming, so I can prepare.
Right. So these are things that you personally may not be able to experience. You may not be able to.
Right. I can't experience a cold front that's in Seattle. Right
exactly.
Now.
But you've learned. But there's also something there where you've learned to trust. Well, however much you're going to trust the weather report.
Well, yeah.
But I mean,
sometimes I trust them almost as much as camping. In terms of
I thought you meant the act of going out and setting up tents.
Okay, can we get doomsday predictions from people whose last names aren't
a gerund?
Yeah, great. But so what the point that I was making is that while beliefs are advantageous in a very sort of primitive sense, what it does is actually our belief systems get locked in pretty hardcore, and it's almost impossible to dissuade a true believer, from believing them, even in the face of completely contradictory and rock hard evidence.
Yeah, I will only believe the Doppler on Channel 5, the Doppler 5000 or whatever they call it.
Well, what that means is that, and we've seen this time and again. I saw another article, but I don't know where that is. I tried to find it again, but. What it means is that the people who most hardcore believe that in camping's prediction of today being the day that Jesus comes back and they get raptured, when nothing happens, it won't dissuade them from the belief. This is what's really weird. It will actually, somehow they'll find a way to twist it and have it be more of a confirmation of their belief. I don't know how they're going to work that, but somehow it's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen at home, Frank's eyes just got quite large as he read a text message. I'd like him, and I can't see it, so I'd like him to share it with us now, if he can.
I'm not going to share it, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, shame on you, whoever wrote that.
Yeah, it wasn't the couple of people out there that we know.
Oh, well, that's nice.
It was someone else.
Hey, well, thank you for participating.
It took the message to a very unexpected place.
Okay. You're being so mysterious.
Well,
you're so coy.
Yeah, it was just unexpected. Okay. We have a little friend out in California who's sending us messages, and thank you.
Friend in California.
Friend in California.
Who likes messaging. Thank you.
Thank you for your messages. We do appreciate them. And thank you to everyone for listening and all that.
So I'm going to give the number again. The number to text us is 801-899-9463. That's 801-8999-GOD, 899-GOD with an 801 in front of it. So send us a text and tell us. Oh, here's a good thing to tell us. Tell us if you know anybody who has a belief that is absolutely flies in the face of what's of evidence. That's what I would like to hear. Other beliefs that people are holding on to, regardless of how true they could possibly or not true they could possibly be.
Yeah, send us those and we'll make fun of them with you.
We will use our forum here on the interweb radio to mock the person that you tell us to mock.
I think that's a great idea, Dan.
Thanks.
So yeah, one more time, that's 801-899-9463. And send us your thoughts. We'll be glad to hear them. And let's get on to another song. This is actually going to be a little song by the Dixie Hummingbirds, Heaven's Grocery Store. All right. Stick around. All right. That was fun.
So, Franklin... What? You and I are guests here at Utah FM today.
That's true. Yeah. We're not typically people who are here.
And we've been asked to make an announcement.
Well, then I think we should.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you're listening to is Utah FM, and they're having a donation drive. Oh. And I think that that's nice. I think people should donate. So, if you enjoy listening to Utah...
This is also...
Actually, you know what? Frankly, if you believe you're going to be raptured, please donate all of your money.
Donate what you have, yeah.
Everything you've got.
And the Central Time Zone still should be fine.
Yeah.
We're fine here. Pacific should be fine.
So you guys have plenty of time to show your faith to Jesus by donating all of your money to Utah FM. And the way you do that is just to go to utahfm.org and click on the Donate Now button and help support them. And they'll raise as much money as they can, and they really need your support. The paper that I've got here makes it seem nigh onto desperate. It's
well,
just...
Dan, I've heard some stuff. Ethan's who's our here that we're using.
Yeah.
He was telling us, when we came in, some of the situation here at Utah FM is dire, and if you're somebody who enjoys this kind of stuff, you should probably. It's sounding like a little bit of a pledge drive right now.
What? Don't be a dick. Just give them some money. That's the answer. Hey, did somebody call you?
Yeah, actually, I did want to get to that. I know we said we weren't going to be taking calls, but somebody did call in during the music. I think he's somebody that we should probably listen to what he has to say. Oh goodness, Lewis. Are you there? Lewis, can you turn down whatever you have going on in the background? I don't know what's going on here. Does anybody know?
We don't know how to work this.
Hey, Lewis, are you there? Ah, crap. This is like the thing I wanted more than anything. let me see if he's still on the phone. This is why we can't have nice things, Frank.
But
let me just, Dan, all right. Let me see if he's still on the phone.
All right. I'll vamp for a moment.
Chris, are you there?
Yeah, we all heard that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Chris.
Come on.
Wait one sec.
Boom, boom, boom. I'll try and sing like the guys in the last song.
Can I do that? Are we still getting that weird thing? Chris?
My name's Lewis.
No. Wait, who's this?
This is Lewis.
Lewis. Okay, we can hear you. Now you have me confused, Frank. I didn't know who we were listening to.
Okay, well, I'm going to try something here. Lewis, can we hear you talk real quick?
Yeah, I'm Lewis. I'm from Hannibal. I just wanted to talk to you guys about what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me. This is driving me nuts.
Yeah, we got technical.
We're having way technical difficulties.
Lewis,
here,
are you in an area? Can you look around you and see what's happening? Is there something that could be causing electromagnetic interference where you are?
Yeah,
we're gonna have to let you go, Lewis.
Lewis, we can't do this, Lewis. I don't know what the deal is. Sorry, man.
All right, sorry. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Bye.
And our experiment with...
Wow, technology. Thank you, technology. You failed us today. Lewis, okay. Lewis had some things to tell us about the rapture and his preparations for it. And so, that's a bummer.
But you know what that leads me into? Because I wanted to have this discussion.
Okay.
If you believed that the rapture was coming, who do you think... how would you prepare for that? What would you do if you actually believed? If it was... Oh, you're looking at the thing. He's still trying to work out technical things.
Hello?
Hello?
We're still trying to get Lewis. Oh.
Aha! Did we figure it out? That's good.
Hey, Lewis, if you're out there, give us a call real quick. I figured it out. I totally figured it out. So, Lewis, please call back.
Yeah, but only Lewis.
Only Lewis, yeah. Anybody else who happens to know the number.
Anybody else, you can text message us at 801-8999-GOD.
9-God. 9-God.
9 gods.
9-Got.
9.
There is no God. Okay, let's hope this is Lewis.
We may have Lewis back. Darn, I was looking forward to that.
Lewis, are you there?
Okay. Wait. Lewis,
are you there?
This is Lewis.
Oh, okay. Lewis, thank God we got you back. Can you hear us, Lewis?
Lewis from Hannibal, Missouri.
Yeah, we got that, Lewis. We understand where you're from.
Well, let me just tell you that the technology will always fail those who do not put their faith in Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Lewis. Well, what can you tell us? You said you're in Missouri?
I'm in Hannibal, Missouri. Me and my mom, we're waiting.
Right. So it's coming to you. I mean, it should be 6 o'clock in like just a few minutes for you, right?
Yeah, it's coming along.
How's it look out there? You see anything? Anything happening?
It's a nice day.
Okay.
But I do want to talk about a couple of things that you brought up in your show. And I appreciated the first song that you brought up by that Ezekiel man.
Okay.
About flying away with Jesus.
Right. Is that something that you expect to happen to you, Lewis? Are you expecting to fly away?
Well, but then I don't appreciate how you've been talking that this is just some hocus-pocus nonsense. Because Reverend Camping, he's a man of God, and excuse me, but his calculations are correct.
Have you checked his math?
Well, yes.
Okay, so you've gone through it all and correlated it with the biblical references, and you believe it to be true, or are you just trusting him?
Well, I mean, I trust him because he's a man of God.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I mean that's cool, Lewis.
What have you been doing the last few days to prepare?
Well,
because I got to say, Lewis, if I thought the world was coming to an end, I don't think I'd act normal. So, have you been doing? Did you take some days off work? Did you?
Well, but what do you have to fear then?
Right.
That means you have something to fear. I don't have anything to fear. I've walked in Jesus' footsteps. I don't have anything to fear.
Right. Well, I'm not saying you have anything to fear. I would think that you'd be partying, having a good time. Did you go to like Six Flags or anything?
No. Once again, you're mocking this.
No, I'm asking. I would be having a great time if I really thought that the world was ending. I would try all sorts of new things that I've never tried. Skydiving, maybe.
That is not the kind of behavior that the Lord wants from us.
Oh. Okay. So what have you been doing?
Well, I've been doing a lot of repenting. I have today, me and my mom, we went out and we accepted Jesus as our personal Lord and Savior.
Good. What do you eat for a day of apocalypse? Is it a hot dog and chips kind of day, or what are you having?
No, Mom made some noodles.
Okay. Franklin.
I'm sorry.
Lewis is a guest on our program. I apologize for Frank. He was looking at something else.
I'm
honestly, that's what I expected. I expected you to mock me when I called.
No, Lewis, I'm sorry. But Lewis. Dan and I are not believers. But I think that his question though about to what extent have you prepared? I've heard about this dog service, right?
Oh yeah. Do you have any pets, Lewis?
But before I want to talk about that, I do want to say that you questioned the math, and you said to one another, does God work in math? Well, I'll tell you how God works. He works in a mysterious way.
But math's not mysterious. Math is perfectly scientific.
Well, but you're mocking it, and you say you don't understand his calculations.
Right. I don't.
And Mom and I actually did give the dog away.
Oh, you gave the dog away.
Well, I think that's very responsible of you, Lewis. If you do believe that, I think that is responsible.
Who'd you give the dog to?
There was a pastor that, our pastor actually...
Isn't your pastor going to be raptured too?
Well, yes, but we gave it to his cousin who does drugs.
Oh.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Well, now, wait a minute. Are we sure that drugs...
Oh, am I going to something's happening.
What? Okay, is it something happening, like, outside your window, or... You looking out...
Mom!
Lewis?
Lewis?
Something's going on.
Calm down.
Oh, no. My bowels just evacuated. Something's going on.
Lewis, calm down. You need to calm down.
Oh, I've got a good tingling all over.
Okay.
Folks, this is...
sweet Jesus, Lord! Sweet Jesus, Lord! Sweet Jesus, sweet Jesus.
Dan, I'm... Oh, goodness.
Lewis? Are you with us still?
Wow. Okay, that was the end of Lewis, or the beginning of Lewis. I don't know what we just heard there.
I think I know what's happening here.
What was that, Dan? Or what is that?
We're in trouble.
Well, yeah,
we are wrong.
Obviously, Lewis is in Hannibal, Missouri. I think he said, right?
Oh my gosh, he must have been just like right on the edge,
which would be. Yeah,
right on the edge of the time zones where it's just sweeping in.
Yeah, I guess there's no reason why it would have to happen at the stroke of 6.
Yeah, there is, because it's math. Okay, can I just point something out?
What's that?
We are the cheesiest bastards on the radio right now.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Goodness gracious.
On our souls. Do we have any interesting...
Well, there you have it, guys. Rapture Watch with Frank and Dan. 2011. It's been almost, 7 years at this point since we recorded that. And it wasn't too long after that we decided to do, Thank God I'm Atheist. And if anybody's ever gone back to listen to the first episodes of Thank God I'm Atheist, I think they're definitely better than this. But they're still a little rough. But it is also funny how familiar the early recordings sound to me, as far as like the patter that Dan and I have. Beyond that, just so everybody knows, obviously because it wasn't a normal show, we didn't do emails, we didn't do voicemails. We'll be getting to those next week. And just so that all the patrons know, this was a freebie. We're not going to charge anybody for this episode of Thank God I'm Atheist. We just, we've always felt that it's important to put something out every week, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And if not, we'll be back next week. So thanks so much. And as always, we just appreciate all of you, and can't believe that you're still all around listening to this show. So have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.